Hi guys, welcome back to Behind the Beauty podcast. I have the lovely Jennifer Yen from Purlisse.
Hi.
And I recently used up an entire bottle of your 4-in-1 cleanser. So I'm very excited to have you here on the podcast, kind of talking about what Purlisse stands for, some of the products, and how you even started. Your journey is very interesting. So it's like how you became a beauty brand owner.
Thank you. So, I'm Jennifer Yen. Thank you so much for having me, Serein. Yeah. I always love to start out saying I used to fight Power Rangers on TV, and now I like to save complexions with Purlisse, my skincare line that's inspired by my grandmother's Asian beauty secrets.
So, and you were on Power Rangers for how many years?
For a year and a half.
Okay.
Almost 2 years.
And that kind of wrecked your skin.
Yes. The heavy makeup, the bright lights, 15 hours a day, absolutely wrecked my skin. I developed rosacea, adult acne, psoriasis, and it really, really took a toll on my confidence. I tried everything, natural products, organic products, all the luxury high-end brands, and I even went to dermatologist after dermatologist, and nothing worked. And that's when I rediscovered my grandmother's Asian beauty secrets.
That's amazing. So did you go to your grandmother and ask for advice, or did you just start to go backwards? And
well, I started thinking about growing up how my grandmother would, always have brewed white tea, always at room temperature. And the purpose of that was to, when my brothers and I would get, scratches from falling off our bikes or rashes, she would actually pour it on our cuts and rashes because it was an antiseptic. Like my grandmother did not assimilate with Western culture, so we didn't know anything about rubbing alcohol, hydrogen peroxide. So that's what she used to clean our cuts. And then she'd bandage it up. And so I knew that white tea really has soothing and antiseptic properties. And I knew that that was one of our key ingredients that we had to have in Purlisse products. And then also there was soy milk. My grandmother would make it. We would drink it. She washed her face with it because she thought, oh, it just leaves my skin porcelain-like,
Yeah, that's amazing. So you decided to start using these ingredients for yourself to kind of heal your skin. And then what just sparked you to be like, I'm going to create Purlisse?
Well, yeah. Well, God, that's a long story. Yeah. This was almost 10 years ago. So, in the marketplace, it was either the really, really high-end products that had a lot of fragrance in there, were the doctor brands that were very evasive and wasn't good for my skin. It made my skin even worse. And or there were the really natural organic brands, and that didn't work because it would just dry on my skin. And now technology and beauty has changed, and a lot of naturals, they're very effective now. But at the time, there wasn't something in between, and there certainly wasn't a Asian inspired skincare brand that I felt spoke to me.
Yeah.
So I knew that I could create something that didn't exist at the time. So that's what inspired me and propelled me, and I wanted to make it for a modern woman.
Yeah. I think that's what's so amazing, because when you look at your cleanser, it says it's a 4-in-1, and I'm just like, okay, is it really a 4-in-1? And after I'd met you, I took home the products you gave me, and I was like, okay, let me just try this. And I try to only try one new product every week, because otherwise my skin freaks out and I don't know what's working or what's not. So I tried the cleanser first, and what really amazed me was it really did remove all of my makeup. I do it twice. So the first cleanse to remove all my makeup and all that surface stuff. And then I do it one more time just for good measure in the shower.
Good.
And I, just did the little cotton swab test, and I was like, it removed everything.
Awesome.
It didn't sting my eyes. It didn't dry out my dry areas. It didn't irritate my oily areas. And I have pretty sensitive skin.
Asians.
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't think we do, but I think we do.
Yes, we are genetically inclined to have more sensitive skin. Now, I know that we don't, there's this quote, Asians don't raisin. I just heard this from one of my employees, right? But we do have other skin issues, like we scar more easily. We're more susceptible to, sunspots. And also one of the things is sensitive skin.
Yeah, my sister, after having her kid, she developed rosacea. And at first I was like, what do you have? Do you have like adult onset acne? Like, where did this come from? Because she never really had acne, and it looked like acne that just would not heal. And she finally went to the dermatologist, and they said it's rosacea. She developed rosacea, and it was a pretty severe case of it. And they gave her a lot of medication for it to kind of like maintain it and stuff like that. I told her immediately, stop using what you're using, like stop messing around with different products and just like focus, get clean. And it's a little bit more balanced, but I really think a lot of the westernized medications for a lot of these treatments aren't good for everybody.
That's right. That's right. Because when I had skin issues, I went to like 3 or 4 dermatologists. And do you know what they told me? They were like, here, take this. And it was hydrocortisone, but a stronger version of it. Or they would say, just, take this Benadryl before you go to work. I'm like, but I work 5 days a week. I don't want to take Benadryl.
Yeah.
Just so I won't have a reaction to the makeup. It's definitely environmental. It's definitely the cosmetics that we use, and certainly internal too.
Yeah. Our skin is like the first place you see what's going on inside and outside. So I think it's really important to have these skincare options available. And that's what I love about Purlisse is it's also pretty affordable.
Yes, we do our best to, like if you look at our packaging, it's not, heavy jars, and there's not like 3 layers of boxes, because first off, it's very wasteful. We really, really try to do our best to really invest all of our resources into the product and the quality and the ingredients. And we just try to pass on those savings to our customers, because there's no reason why you can't get a high quality, superior product at a very affordable price, especially when we're not talking about, because you have to use it every day, right? So if you're going to use it every day, it has to be sustainable and affordable. And so that's what we try to do. So we try to make our packaging as simple as possible, the least wasteful as possible. That's kind of our mission.
Yeah, and you get a lot of product. Like, I used up the entire cleanser, but
I'll have to send you some more.
I have a backup. I have a backup already.
Oh, okay, good.
It's really amazing that you offer a lot. And for cleanser, some people have to cleanse their skin multiple times a day. I only do it at night, and then I wake up and
that's smart.
I don't wash my face
because you already have. Yeah, you want the oils. It's really smart. That's a really good beauty tip.
Well, I also come from a drier skincare or skin type. Like I turned 30 and my skin just like stopped producing oil.
Well, you look amazing.
Thanks. So I love that. And then the BB cream is really awesome too, because it has an SPF 30. It's a physical SPF. I love that you did that.
Thank you.
I wear both, but I don't feel safe without a physical.
Yes.
So if it's going to be an all-in-one, it really needs to have a physical for me.
You're smart.
So
yes.
I'm really happy you did that, because it's really hard to find, a high performance and comfortable physical SPF that's tinted.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Those are like my 2 hero products. I still have to try some of the other stuff. But
awesome. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah. And it's really cool how you really transitioned careers.
Yes, it was not easy.
Yeah.
But, I'm so glad I did it,
And almost 10 years?
Yeah. So 8 years, but 2 years, like just researching, developing, I want to say the first 4 years were super rocky, just trying to learn everything. And, launching 10 months before the recession was just mind blowing, like how hard it was. And, times have changed though. I think, with e-commerce, the internet, influence like you, democratizing the whole idea of beauty editors, I think 10 years from now, we're going to be able to look back and say 2008, what? You mean the only 2 ways to get products out there were if you were in stores, if Vogue or Elle, or any of these big magazines talked about you.
Which was really hard to do if you didn't have the advertising money behind you.
Exactly. Those were literally the only 2 ways. Either stores carried you or editors, or if you had advertising money. And now it's insane to think about, but they were the massive gatekeepers, and that was literally the only way.
Yeah. It's, and it's where I got my information was magazines or going to the department store and learning from the sales team, which as I look back, I'm like, wow, they were just selling me. They're making commission, or, I'm not getting true education. The education that's out there nowadays about skincare, about products it's vast and it's free and it's readily available. So I think consumers are becoming smarter because of the internet, because of influencers.
Yes.
Not necessarily that I'm giving you valuable information, but maybe inspiring you to go and look it up yourself.
Yes. No, you actually are so important to our industry, like people like you and what you're doing, because I think that in addition to other like indie beauty brand creators and owners, like we actually look to you as like a way how you guys democratize, and like we are so thankful for all the content and the great work that you guys do, because you guys have a voice. It's authentic, it's real. You have people who trust you and who can relate to you. Like you just said, I'm Asian, I'm almost 30. There's millions of girls out there like that needs to hear from you and like what your skin issues are. So that's it's awesome. It's a great time to be, an influencer, a, brand creator, because you can bypass a lot of the archaic establishments that actually prevented niche brands to even be developed.
Yeah, it was really hard, like talking to a lot of I'm very lucky I get to talk to a lot of brand owners now, and it's my favorite thing to do because I always want to hear, how did you start? What inspired you? What were some of your struggles? And to hear that, I had Sarah Happ on here, and she was like, I was just very generous, and I told store owners, like boutique owners that would carry my product, thank you for carrying my product. But if anybody came in that was a celebrity or was but in line, like ethically a celebrity, like pretty, okay there, you feel free to gift any of my products and I will give that plus more back, so it won't come out of your pocket. And it just so happened Reese Witherspoon walked in and like wanted the lip scrubs, and then she mentioned it. So it's one of those things that like back then you almost had to just hope that it would happen.
Yes.
And now, by no means am I Reese Witherspoon, but at least like someone might watch my review about a product.
No, absolutely. No, we appreciate you so much because, I think that had I not started out in those times, what you talked about, it was like either celebrity stores or press. It was like you didn't have a shot. And so now, I think if you are coming from a perspective like me, we actually, like, I really appreciate you guys, you and influencers, YouTubers, content creators, so much more, is because I know how hard it was back then to do that. And I think anybody who started a brand before 2008 would actually absolutely agree with me.
Yeah.
And
whereas now people like think it's just part of, people starting now are just expecting it.
Yeah. Or they don't appreciate it as much. You know what I mean? And how just many more channels there are, I mean, I appreciate it because I know how hard it was back then,
Well, thank you. Thank you for appreciating it.
Yes, we love you.
That's awesome. So I know you guys just launched some new sheet masks.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about them?
Yes. So we launched 2 new sheet masks. We have a green tea and vitamin C. So it's green tea infused with like grapefruit, lemon, and orange. So it's all about brightening and clarifying. And then another one is green tea and ginger. It's perfect for after summer to detoxify your skin. Green tea is very soothing. It's a powerful antioxidant. So it helps like clarify and clean your pores. So so it's like definitely good for after summer.
Yay. And are your sheet masks, the ones I have they come in a package, like a box?
Yes, of 6.
Yeah. Do they always come like that, or do they?
Oh, we sell them single.
Okay.
Yeah, but we prefer you buy a box because it's like 6 for $36 versus the single ones are $8.
Okay, yeah, you just buy the
Yeah,
box.
the
Like, it
box.
doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
So that's really cool. And then do you guys have, well, unless you wanted like buy one of each to test out, I don't know. But
Yeah, we're going to actually try to do a bundle too, where
Okay.
someone can buy like one of each.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because I know I always like to buy a bundle whenever
Oh, that's awesome.
trying something for the first time. That's so exciting. And then you're going to have you restocked the light BB cream yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's back in stock. Thankfully.
Yay.
Yes. Thankfully. Gosh.
So for me, the medium works well in the summertime for me.
Yep.
But fall, winter, I'll definitely transition to the lighter shade. So if you guys are thinking about shopping or anything like that, you guys can kind of gauge like.
Yes. I'm medium for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Full-time medium?
Full time. I think even during the summer, I'm like, oh, I'm getting a little dark. I can turn so dark.
So can I.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But then during the summer, I'm like so pale. I mean, during the winter,
Yeah.
I'm so pale.
That's crazy. We have the same kind of skin.
Yeah.
So obviously. That's amazing. So is there anything new coming up that you can share? Or?
Yeah. So we also, I think, next month we're going to have 2 new sheet masks launch. And then we're going to have really cool holiday sets. And next year, we're gonna do a little bit more color cosmetics, and we're gonna move into color body, and we'll have some more face products too.
I'm very excited for the color.
Yes.
Yeah, because I first started with skincare of like trying to clean out my skincare and figure out exactly what irritates my skin and what doesn't. But now I'm starting to do that with makeup and color, obviously.
Good.
And boy, there's a lot of stuff in our makeup.
Yes, totally.
So is all of Purlisse stuff, I know for sure it's synthetic fragrance free.
Yes. Well, so our sheet mask has a tiny little bit of fragrance, but that's it. Everything else is synthetic, fragrance free.
Well, and sheet masks usually are fragranced because they smell really bad.
Yes.
Without it.
Yeah. So we do a tiny little bit of fragrance in there, like to the point where it's like you don't really smell it, and it's not irritating.
Okay. Perfect. And then no mineral oils, no petrochemicals.
Yeah, no phthalates, no GMOs, no triclosan, and no sulfates.
Yeah, so it's very good if you guys have been trying to eliminate some of those things from your skincare line. And it's, again, very affordable for what you're offering.
Thank you. Yeah, that's our mission, is to offer high quality, superior products at very friendly prices.
Yeah. So what inspires you when you're now looking at potentially new things coming out? Because I feel like I love that you're not super trendy.
Yeah, we try to stay away from, you're right. We definitely try to stay away from stuff that's too trendy, because I always think, we want to do essentials really, really great. We want to like modernize them. We definitely take like, what people love, and how can we infuse like Asian wisdom into it while keeping it modern, and also keeping it super high quality. Mm-hmm. Of course I'm inspired by other brands. And if I use something that I really love, I'm like, okay, well, this is really working for my skin. Like I want to create this for our line, but for our customer, like there are certain mud masks. I know that was really trending for a long time, but they irritated my skin. Like they were so harsh. So when we created our Blue Lotus Seed mud mask, we used like a white clay that was, really gentle, but still extremely effective. But we fused it with like ingredients like ginger and mushroom extracts to brighten the skin. And our exfoliating particles are rice, bamboo, and blue lotus seeds. And we try to keep the harshness out of it, but while keeping the results.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool, because then you don't have to like jump on the next trend.
Exactly. Just, build products that people will continue to use over and over again. And I always say, like, I don't think the world needs another mediocre product. So for us, we take time to create our products. We're doing a body product, and we were supposed to launch in January, but now we're going to push it back to April. It's because we couldn't get it right. And it's a body scrub. Like there's so many out there, but ours is going to be great. I mean, not because like we developed it, it's just because like, it just needs to make sure like it's not too oily on the skin, you know, or it doesn't leave the shower oily. So there's a lot more to it than just like putting products together, or I believe that way. I believe that's, you know, you should definitely make products that are great.
Yeah, and that you love.
Exactly.
It should be something that sits in your bathroom or on your counter.
Yes.
Otherwise, why are you making it?
Exactly. And back to what you're saying, consumers are really, really savvy now. Like, it's not about marketing, you know, it's not about hyped up marketing these days, because like women, consumers, young and, you know, older, they're not really believing in advertising and marketing. It's real recommendations from real friends or real influencers like you, where people trust you. And so it's really hard to hide behind heavy marketing and mediocre products these days.
Yeah. And even people have noticed, like, bigger brands might do a huge campaign with a bunch of influencers to do a marketing thing. But if the product isn't good, influencers aren't going to work with you. Like, I test the product out before I will agree to do a sponsored or an activation with a brand.
That's great that you keep it really high integrity, super authentic.
Because look, we all have to pay our bills. So,
yes.
And I offer a service for the brand and for the viewer. But if the product doesn't perform, I'm not going to stand behind it. Like, and I also try to find pros and cons of every product that I do talk about, especially if I'm being paid to feature it.
Mm-hmm.
I want everyone to know, like, what I think could be improved about it, if there is anything, or why I wouldn't use something every single day, but I do like it. Because it needs to be said. Like, I don't want someone to buy it saying, oh, Serene liked it, and then hate it. Like, that's like, I literally lose sleep over that.
Oh my God. You're so cute. That's so good though.
Well, because I know when, you know, if a friend tells me to go buy something and I buy it, I get really disappointed if I don't like it and I can't return it, or because it's money.
Yes, that's right.
It's money, it's time. It's like one product that I bought that meant I couldn't buy something else I was interested in.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, to this day, you would think like, oh, I have a whole room full of product. Like,
but you still love it. Yeah.
I still love it. I still feel that way about where I spend my money. And I think a lot of people feel that way. So, but yeah, you can't hide behind marketing.
Yes.
Even an influencer marketing.
Exactly. No, so true. So true.
So I know when we had met, you talked about a lot of the struggles of like starting Purlisse and just starting a business. Like, I want, you know, a lot of people watching or listening to the podcast, they are trying to do and achieve their own goals and life ambitions. Like, I think it's important to share the struggles and the successes.
Absolutely.
So it's not all rainbows and unicorns when you start.
No, it's not. Yes, like, I think people love to talk about the success and hear about it, but there's also another side, which is like failure is a huge possibility. And, you know, people love to talk about passion, and like, if you don't have passion for it, of course, don't do it. But there's also another side I like saying, it's like a Chinese sort of way. It's like, you have to have the stomach to be able to suffer through the process. And what I mean by that is that you're not going to be successful overnight. I mean, yes, there are those stories, but very rare.
I don't even
like, I'm 10 years in the making success story.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
I don't think there is such thing as overnight success. I think people just don't talk about the 10 years before. Yes.
And you have to talk about it if you really want people to learn. You know, it is extremely hard. It's sacrifice. It's a lot of sacrifice. It's a lot of suffering too, because it's very lonely. And if you don't have friends who are entrepreneurs, they're not going to be able to relate, you know, about how, you know, financially it's very challenging, you know. And if you came from a background like me where I was acting, I didn't have a corporate background. I didn't work for a beauty company. I actually never worked for a company, period. So it was like, for me, it was like,
how are you supposed to run one?
Oh my God, exactly. You know, and I just say this, and I always tell my team, look, you just have to keep going, and then life happens. Like, I know in like acting, well, I always say acting was like my greatest probably preparation for being an entrepreneur, because you're just constantly getting rejected all the time.
Oh,
you
it's
know,
so great for your ego.
I know it's like, you know, in one sense it's like, it's great because it so prepares you.
Yeah.
And then when you become an entrepreneur, you're like, okay, no, okay, on to the next. You have to always be like, on to the next, and you have to keep going because things will eventually fall into place. You have to keep going.
Yeah.
And you know this, you know, like you also made a career change, right? You didn't stop. You just continued on to already what you learned, and you add on to your experiences. And I always say this, like, if you're not in the trenches, you're not going to know what's next.
Mm-hmm. But just be prepared for it. Yeah.
And the way to be prepared for it is you always have to just keep doing and going. Mm-hmm. I know it sounds crazy, but like like something bad happens, you just have to be like, okay, on to the next. You have to be able to get up from a punch and know how to get up. And these are just, you know, words that I live by because it is that hard. It is that hard, you know, and God, do I sound negative? Because people are like, oh my God.
No, I think it's important though to share this because I think I feel like we glamorize success. Yes. And the whole overnight success thing, I swear it's like a media ploy because even in the acting world, when I was an actor, people would be like, oh yeah, so-and-so came out of nowhere and now is like a huge movie star. I'm like, that person did commercials for like 15 years or was doing guest stars that nobody heard of or was in every failed pilot that never got picked up. And then one thing hit. Exactly. No, that's true. And, you know, people love to think, you know, what you're doing is glamorous and having a beauty brand or fashion is glamorous. I mean, come to our offices and you'll see that is not glamorous. No. And I have, we hired a team member this year and it's so wonderful. Like that she can stay balanced. Like it's probably why she got hired, like why I felt uncomfortable hiring her. But she doesn't know what she's walking into on a basis. Like, am I going to be a nightmare? Not necessarily ever to her, but like, is it just a really stressful day for me? And meaning like I'm on a terror, or am I like in the corner crying, or am I in a really great mood and like, let's go get lunch? You know, like, and I'm sure your office knows it's like a highs and lows. Like, every day is different because you're a young company. You're 10 years old, but you're a young company. No, still. So true. Exactly. There's always going to be highs and lows in business. And yes, if you have the stomach for that, where it's not stable, you know, if you're comfortable with going, okay, well, it's not routine. I don't know what's going to happen. Every day is different. If you can adapt, if you can stomach that, then go for it. Yeah. You know, that's the thing. It's like, I don't think working for yourself or starting a business is for everyone. Yes, it's not for everybody. And when people ask me, like, I want to start a YouTube channel, my answer is do it. Like, because I can't tell you if it's right for you. You have to decide if it's right for you, and you won't know until you start it. Now, business is a little bit different, but when people ask, I'm like, why are you asking me? Like, you should just do it. Yes. And then come back and ask, you know, like if you have questions, but you really do. If there's something in your gut that says, do this, yes, like, do it. Yeah, exactly. And I think there is the possibility of failure, and I failed at a lot of different things. Me too. You know, but I think I allowed myself to fail, learn, and move on because I didn't love it. And whereas YouTube, I've had failures, or podcasting, whatever I'm doing, I've had failures in what I've done now. But I think because I love it so much that you just keep going. Exactly. Yeah. Your love and passion will keep you going. Absolutely. And if you don't love it, you shouldn't do it because, again, it's that hard. Yeah. And if you have to wake up every day and do it and you're not loving it because it's not always going to go well the way you want it to, it's probably not going to work. Yeah. Unless you really love it, you know? Yeah. Because there's a lot of times when it's only because of that love. You're like, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to, wake up and do it. Exactly. Yeah. And sometimes that love isn't even. Yeah. No, absolutely. So when was the moment for you that Purlisse like kind of had a win? Like what was the win? So
it's like so funny when you say about ebbs and flows. So when we first started, Elle Magazine featured us, Lucky Magazine. So we were like right when we launched, because I think people love the story that, oh, she was a former villainess on TV. Literally launched like January 2008. We were on a roll, and we were at Henry Bendel, like JD's Cosmetics, Fred Siegel's. All these cool boutique stores were starting to open us up. Skinstore.com at the time was one of the biggest online. It just, business changed so fast, and then they're no longer the biggest, but they were at the time. And I'm like, wow, this is awesome, right? And I was like, oh, this isn't as hard as. Then what happened in October 2008? The world recession. Then it was like literally everything went dark. Like sales overnight plummeted to like zero. I can't even begin to explain like just how fast and rapid the decline was.
Wow.
And then, our prices were higher priced at the time. We used fancier packaging, so
the price had to be higher.
Yeah, it was higher. And then I was just trying to, it's like it's like a tidal wave came, and you're like, I'm losing everything. I don't know what's happening. And you're just trying to stay afloat, but you don't know how to do it because I've never been there. I never knew how to turn things around. And my first company, and I'm just like treading water, like drowning. And then, then I pulled back from the market. And then when we relaunched, because I had no money left, I had no product left to sell. So we pulled back from the market, and then we relaunched with a more refined version. What I mean by, we lowered our pricing, we simplified our packaging, we went to our manufacturers to decrease our manufacturing costs. So when we relaunched, half the stores were gone.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted us because they didn't want to take the risk. And then here I am with a warehouse full of new products with a lot of promise, but no outlet. And I was like, what do I do? And then this is like when the rise of social media it wasn't a proven platform, but it made sense that, oh, you mean you can tweet about it and people can reach out directly to us? I should have a Facebook page. So I started doing all that on my own and learning about it. And I mean, we didn't have a massive, huge following right away. I was just trying to figure it out. And then we partnered with Ipsy, but it was My Glam at the time. And they were also new. The bigger brands were like, well, we don't know about this YouTube thing.
Yeah.
Wait, why would people pay for samples when you can go to Bloomingdale's and Sephora? It actually makes sense. Like I would probably say the same thing to a trained expert eye. You would say that. But then I was like, I need an outlet. So, okay. And so they were small. We were trying to reboot, but then I noticed that it made sense because you are literally delivering 500,000. We didn't start out 500,000, each, collaboration, but we're able to send out 500,000 samples in 1 month, and they can come directly to our site. So I have effectively cut out the retailer, and I'm able to get Purlisse products to 500,000 women in 1 month. Like, think about how much time and energy you would have to do that in a store. What I have to fly to 200 cities.
Well, and to get that foot traffic.
Exactly. And I would have to go to 200 stores to try to give people samples. It was crazy. And when you think about how technology changes everything, it did. And so that's kind of the moment when things changed, and when we were a brick and mortar brand, depending on stores, and we became an online brand.
Yeah.
And that was the evolution.
So that's crazy because
yes,
you were with Ipsy since the beginning.
Yes.
When Ipsy wasn't Ipsy.
No, it was called My Glam at the time, you know?
I briefly remember My Glam. So that's amazing.
Yeah. So, and back to what I was saying is that if you don't stay in the rough waters, you're not going to know how to get to the shore.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's because I stayed in it, I was able to figure it out, so sometimes the idea of don't ever give up, like, is really true. You know, if you really believe,
love.
Yes.
Don't give up on it.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a pivotal moment. And I think in business, like, there's many pivotal moments, but I would say that was one of them. Like, started, failed, pulled back, trying to figure it out. And then, then when we were like, okay, I think this will work, we started like tripling down on it. Like we want direct relationship with our consumers. And again, this goes back to like why what you're doing is really important, because you're able to offer that microphone, a voice for us to be able to reach to our consumers directly. That's what we want. Like if you have a problem with our products, you don't like it, tell me why. Tell us why. Yeah. Whereas before, the retailers wouldn't share that with you.
Yeah, and that's what's been so amazing is that consumers now have a voice because
powerful.
Yeah, and brands are listening, and there's like full on, even the bigger teams or bigger brands, they put teams together to really listen to what the consumer has to say and what they're commenting with. And even influencers, like I'll just make a comment, oh, I love this. I love the formulation. I just wish this was gold. Like, I wish that this was a little brighter gold. That's what I need in an everyday eyeshadow palette, but not everyone needs that. And for the brand to come up to me and be like, what kind of gold? Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
and I was like,
amazing.
What?
Yes.
Because it gives me a voice, and it's amazing that brands are willing to listen. And
yes, they should.
Yeah. And, not everything needs to be taken into account, but the fact that you guys are listening.
Yes.
It's a huge, like, it makes people feel they just want to be heard.
Absolutely. And they should. And, like we love our customers. Like we respond to them right away. Like we want to make sure that you feel appreciated and that you're really important. And, in these kind of technology platforms enables that, and I think the brands that will survive and thrive are the ones who actually focuses on the consumer. And now with social media, the consumers are a lot more powerful and have a lot more voice than they know. Yeah.
I mean, I don't go to a restaurant without checking Yelp.
Me too.
So,
or I go to Amazon if I want to buy something. I'm like, okay, who has the most positive reviews and the most reviews?
Yeah, and I always read the best and the worst reviews.
Yes.
And then I kind of gauge like, okay, was this person just really upset? Because I think consumers are smart and they know like just one bad review is not going to kill you if they don't have like, if they're just angry. Like I typically am like, okay, that was just a fluke. But if everybody's saying the same thing, then that's when I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to buy that.
Exactly.
And, there's a joke in this house where they're sitting in that everybody, like Chris and Karina will be like, where'd you get that? Oh, that's so cool. Where'd you get that? I'm like, Amazon. Like everything's from Amazon. If I don't have to leave my house to place that order, I will buy it on Amazon.
Exactly. So true.
Because I know the rating. I have Amazon Prime, so free 2 days.
Yeah,
shipping.
exactly. You don't have to leave your house, you know?
They carry everything.
I know. It's amazing.
And I think that's just where the world is now. So even with online retail, I'll order things from your website, but it needs to be quick. It needs to be efficient and save my info. So if I need to reorder, it's not going to take like 5 minutes.
True.
So I think it's such a different world. And I think it's a great opportunity for brands and people wanting to start something, anything really. And I love that you appreciate social media. You're not trying to fight it.
No. Oh my goodness. I couldn't believe brands who were fighting it.
There's some that's not necessarily, there's still brands fighting
they are.
it. Yeah.
They are. It's just, the old way is just going to go away.
Yeah.
You need to embrace the new age, the new information age, and real recommendations by real people.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, I want recommendations. I watch YouTube all the time and I will buy anything and everything somebody I likes. And I'm drawn to, and I think that's what's so great. We were talking before we started about YouTube is that you have the full glam, you have the heavy makeup, but you also have people like me who are more everyday and practical. And I'm not going to spend an hour doing my makeup if on it every given day. Like occasionally I like to sit down and really take that time, but there's someone out there for everyone. And I really do find that I relate to certain influencers, and if they use something, I'm like, I have to get it. I'm like, I need to go to Credo and buy this, and this because so-and-so used it. Like,
yes,
it's one of those things where it really is like looking up to a big sister,
That's so awesome.
Like I I feel that way. I hope that's
Absolutely.
why people buy things.
I mean, think about just 30 years ago, you only were able to watch commercials.
Yeah. Ugh.
For Clairol or L'Oreal. That was it. Revlon.
Yeah.
That's it.
Look, it worked. I bought all that stuff. But it's different now.
Yeah, it's very different.
Yeah, and it's really exciting. I think it's an exciting time.
I agree. Yes.
And you guys as brand owners and creators, like, your social media is powerful too, because I get to know who you are.
Exactly.
And I follow you on Instagram. Like, I'll be
yeah,
like,
I love your Instagram.
oh, thank you.
It's so beautiful.
But I love knowing, like, it's really a lifestyle. Like, I'm like, oh, Jennifer's doing this today. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or she's at Gen Beauty in New York with her daughter. Oh, that's adorable. Like, I want to see who you are as a human being, as a woman, because I can relate to that.
Exactly.
You know, and I think it's really exciting, like, because you are a mom, and like, you're a hot mom. If I have a kid, I want to be as, like,
oh my God, of course you will.
I don't know.
Yes, you will.
But, you know, I think that's really inspiring too for women to see that you can be an entrepreneur, you could be a mom, you can run a business and have staff and, you know, run all over the world trying to get your product made and look good doing it.
Yes, I agree. No, and you are exactly that. You're like the embodiment of Purlisse woman.
Oh, thanks. And I really truly love seeing that. And
thank you.
For you to be transparent too, for coming on here, and, you know, because I think that's important these days, is that's what sets Purlisse apart, is you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So
I love people who are real and authentic. So yeah, thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, and before we go, I just thought it would be funny to share that, like, we crossed paths, like, almost. Like, how long ago was this? Like 2000?
Oh my God, 2001 when Serein was a baby.
So I actually auditioned for the role that Jennifer got.
I can't believe it, because you're so young.
Well, I went in and auditioned.
And you didn't get it because you were too young.
Well, they had me go read for a ranger.
Yes.
So they had me read for a ranger, and then they brought me back for a ranger. But I originally had gone in for the villainess. And
that's so funny.
Because when I read your bio, when first Purlisse was brought to my attention, then I read the bio, I was all like, I think this was to me, I remember this audition because it was a little traumatic, because when I went in to read for all the producers, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. It was my first time getting that far for a series regular, and I panicked. I was 17. I panicked.
No, baby.
Yeah. And so for me, that was one of those, like, failed moments in life, and where you're like, okay, what just happened? But I think that's so crazy.
I know. That's so, see how, like, you know, the world comes and comes back. But if you weren't doing what you're doing, if I'm not doing what I'm doing, we would never have reconnected. Yeah.
And also that my past led me to here, and your past led you.
Exactly. And that goes to say you should never be scared to reinvent yourself.
Yeah. And before we go, walk me through your skincare routine.
Okay, so I wake up, or at nighttime for sure, I have to wash my face. So I wash my face with our Blue Lotus 4-in-1 cleansing milk, and then I put our eye serum on.
Okay.
And then our Blue Lotus Youth Serum. You don't need it, but I do. And then I put our Blue Lotus Balancing Moisturizer on. I make sure I get my neck and my hands, because hands are really important. And then I put our lip balm on. And then in the morning, I do exactly what you do. I don't wash my face because I'm very dry and sensitive. And then I put our eye serum on. Mm-hmm. And then I put our Blue Lotus SPF 30 moisturizer on.
Oh.
Yes. Did I get you that? I'll make sure. Okay. I'm going to send you cleanser. I'll restock. Okay. And then, and Chris, you'll love the SPF 30 too. And then I put our BB cream on.
Okay.
And then so when I start doing my makeup, I use Jouer, like,
the
blush, and then their Skinny Dip.
Oh, yeah.
And then their Kitty eyeliner, and then a mascara and lipstick, and then eyebrow.
Nice.
So pretty, like, I'm pretty, like, I need it to be done quick.
Yeah,
you know?
no, and that's what I love Jouer too. quick.
Exactly.
Effective.
Exactly. Quick. I need to get out,
Yeah.
So I like your look.
Oh, thank
Natural
you.
every day. I love the glam look, and I just can't do it. And I don't have the time.
Well, I'll do it every so often just to play because I like to play.
Yes.
And if I'm going out, occasionally I'll bump it up. But no, like I want to live my life.
Yeah,
I wanna enjoy life. And I think products should perform on an everyday level.
Absolutely.
So if they can perform every day, they should be able to amp it up for film and TV and all that stuff. So that's so cool. I love your look. So you've got skinny dip because I can see it.
Yes, Joy.
Yeah.
I love
Cool.
Christine. She's awesome.
She's amazing. Oh, she's one of my heroes too. So
She's so cool. Yeah.
yeah. Well, people can buy Purlisse on the website, which I'll have in the description box and the show notes if you guys are listening via your listening devices. And then also a couple products are available on Amazon, correct?
Yes.
Is that a good place to buy?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Amazon, we're actually starting to sort of like clean up everything. I know there's some resellers. We want to get rid of that. But purlisse.com is probably where you'll get the most information, the breadth of products.
Okay. Perfect. And I think that's the best. And you're going to be at Gen Beauty New York. I'll be there too, but Purlisse's booth will be at Gen Beauty New York. Mm-hmm. And if you're going, make sure you stop by and say hi.
Yeah. And then follow us at Purlisse, Purlisse.
On Instagram, Twitter.
Yep. Snapchat, Facebook.
Everything. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Cool. Bye, guys.